Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome to Nadanam, a dance podcast. I'm Anup Karthik, the host of the show, and I'm absolutely thrilled to have you join me here for another exciting episode. Get ready to dive deep into the world of dance as we explore everything related to dance. Whether you're a seasoned dancer, a passionate enthusiast, or simply someone who loves the beauty of movement, this episode has something special in store for you. But before we get started, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude to all our listeners. Your support and enthusiasm means the world to me, and it's what keeps this podcast going strong. So, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Alright, let's not waste any more time. Get ready to be inspired, educated, and entertained as we embark on another dance filled adventure together. Without further ado, let's jump right into today's episode. Shashank with us from Hyderabad, India. He is a pro Afro Latin dancer, choreographer, instructor, founder, and director of Salsa Cafe Hyderabad. So, Nadanam welcomes you to our podcast.
Thank you so much, Anup. Pleasure being here, and I'm looking forward to this conversation.
And for all the audience, this episode is going to be about his journey through dance, his training, his preparation through classes, shows, and running the school, and the generation gap and the impact of social media as well. So let's hear it from him. Let's begin from where and when did all this journey started? Your dance journey. Yeah, tell me. We'll start
That's a
from
lot.
that first.
That's quite a blast from the
Throwback.
past to revisit.
Yeah.
It's an absolute throwback. Um, so see, I know that there are a lot of people who have I mean, this whole since the time I was a kid, I knew I always wanted to dance. There are a lot of people with that story. Somehow my story is not it's not that story. It was just something that I
Okay.
always enjoyed. I mean, when I was in college, you dance in the competitions and things like that. Uh, the first time I thought of I should try out salsa was when I saw Dirty Dancing. Patrick Swayze made me feel like I want to try this dance. When I saw Time of My Life, and I'm like, ye karna hai kabhi life mein. But then it was just a thought that got parked aside.
Okay.
It was just a very accidental thing that I ended up joining a salsa class, and I started dancing, and it was something that I was good at. I didn't know that I'm going to be actually good at it, let alone thinking that I will teach it. I was just like,
Okay.
chal karte hain, you know. I was studying pharmacy. It was like a hectic time, and there was like beach me. There was some 3 months. There were holidays, and I'm like, okay, let's just try. There was some Latin dancing happening near my house, and I'm like, okay, let's try it out. So it was just as I started doing that, I realized that I was good at it. I never thought that I will teach. Then when I was offered a position to teach, I did that, and I realized that okay, this is also something that I actually enjoy. I like being here. I like being in the teaching space. I enjoy teaching and working with people, and I thought, okay, why not give this a try? I worked with a couple of dance schools, and 10 years ago, we started our own dance school in Hyderabad. It was launched by the name of Sync One. Then we renamed it to Salsa Cafe. And
Okay.
yeah, it's been a decade of trying to create a scene in Hyderabad, which hasn't
Okay.
exactly been the easiest thing because Hyderabad did not really have a very active scene. It's been buzzing only for the last 10, 15 years now. So together we've tried to build a community over here because the whole idea was to build that community of dancers, the bring in the element of social dancing and look at how that works. So uh, it's been 10 years and thanks to God, I've got some good opportunities, got some good students who I could work with, uh, taught in Hyderabad, taught in the other Indian festivals, Lebanon, Egypt, took workshops in Thailand, got some opportunities and tried my best to make most of it. And right
Nice.
now, the focus is, of course, a lot more on post pandemic. There was a reset button that got pressed. So the focus has been again on rebuilding a scene that kind of diminished after 2020. So, yeah.
A decade back, and you have started in salsa, and then moved on to any other styles, or what are the styles you teach and you perform, or yeah, tell me about the styles you
Um,
do.
so, so this when we started off 10 years ago, salsa was, of course, the main thing that we used to
Yeah,
learn. We used to teach. And along with that, there used to be bachata, which was like just uh,
emerging.
bachata was like just this one more thing that gets played at the social.
Okay.
There wasn't, I mean, right now, currently in India, the bachata scene is so active. There is a
Hmm.
whole different bachata scene. There's a separate kizomba scene. When I was there was no kizomba on the map at all. And bachata was just one more of the things that gets played. So we would just
Okay.
be around, and like whatever we learned in salsa, we try to like apply it to bachata, and we would slowly get there. So as a dance school, currently we do offer salsa and bachata classes. In bachata, we cover modern bachata as well as traditional Dominican and salsa. But my prime focus, at least till now, and in my foreseeable future, I don't see it shifting from salsa. So I'm one of those
Okay.
true blue salsa guys. We offer
Okay.
salsa and mambo. So that's what we do now.
Tell me about your Salsa Cafe. How did it started? And tell me about your team and how do you train yourself and your students and something like that about your cafe and
Um, so it started 10 years ago.
okay.
It started off with just the whole thing of wanting to be in the scene, wanting to build a scene. If I have to put it in a slightly selfish way, I wanted to dance. See, we used to wait for festivals. At that point of time, we didn't even have so many festivals. We used to have two festivals in a year, and then it became three, and then it became five, and now we've got like so many of them. So it used to be like, I don't want to wait for 365 days to get my dances. So the
Okay.
whole idea behind actually starting a dance school at that point of time was, I want a social dance. I don't want to wait for an event, a festival where I will go and get my dances. So let's train people in Hyderabad and get them to a point where where I'm able to actually have the kind of dances that I really enjoy and I look forward to week on week. So that was the whole purpose behind. That was one of the reasons why I started teaching, because I really wanted to build that scene. And we've had we've had a couple of instructors. Hyderabad has a challenge which uh, I I mean, I don't know, but I'm guessing cities like Bangalore and Pune will also have, because it's an IT. It's a very IT
Yeah.
dominated. So the people are always moving in and out. So
Okay.
I have a team, and the team also has a reset every 2 years, because people have gone on site. People are getting opportunities. Like one of our
Of course. Yeah.
instructors here right now, who was with us for a long time, is currently in Amsterdam, and he's performing with Euphoria over there. So but it
Yeah.
feels
Mm.
nice, but definitely it feels nice that if you're able to bring our instructors and people to a point where they're able to go outside and maybe join like such a kick-ass team and work with them, and also whatever they have done till now, it's taken them to a point where they're able to take it to a next notch when they're with a school that's much more accomplished than ours. So somewhere we are doing it right. We are
Great.
doing it right. That's why it's happening. So the focus has been, for the last 10 years, has been on quality always, trying to create and build a scene. I keep saying this again and again, because that's the whole reason I believe that at least Salsa Cafe as a dance school stands for that. We are trying to build a Latin community, and
Great. Great.
nothing beyond that. So yeah, it's
Great.
been 10 years now. So we've had a team, and currently we have I have another person who has joined me from Pune. He's joined our school, and he's one of the co-directors, because he also carries a decade's experience, Arvind Joshi. So Arvind's
Okay.
also, he handles the bachata aspect part of it more, while I look at the salsa bit more. But yeah, together we are trying to make something happen.
So I can easily relate to it since I'm from Coimbatore and there is no dance scene. I have started the community called Salsa Cafe, so I can easily relate to you. And I'm just 2 years now. So since I moved here, my other dancers are taking care of it. So it's kind of a similar journey, but I've just
Yeah,
started.
but
So
I
I
think it's
wish I could. Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I
Tell
think it's
me.
fantastic that you've tried to build something, and
Yeah,
you now have a team that's taking care of it, even though you are not currently placed in Coimbatore. And I think
yeah.
that's awesome. So kudos to you, Anu. Congratulations on
Thank you,
that.
thank you. And coming back to your
Yeah.
school, is there new people coming in regularly, or is that the same dancers who dances in the socials? They want to attend the classes, or and how do you create a syllabus for the training? So tell me about that.
Okay. See, that has actually also changed with time. To be
Okay.
honest, Hyderabad, when we started off, we used to have students only from the IT, and we've had very few locals. At least as a dance school for me, I've not managed to tap into the local market for a good. I mean, now we have, but till up to say pre-pandemic era, we used to have more people who were non-locals, people from Bombay, Pune. Bangalore, Delhi, who have come here for some jobs and they're working over there. So that's what it was. Right now, we have an influx of students who are also local. So definitely the number has gone up. We have people coming in month on month. We have, see, not everyone stays on. And that's something that we as a dance school understand. And we need to be cognizant of that. Not everyone is here to become a great dancer. Some people are just joining because they want to have fun, and they've just moved to Hyderabad and they don't have anything to do, and they're like, okay, let's try out multiple hobby classes to see what works. So
Okay.
we have a lot of people who actually show up like that, because a lot of them have joined my classes. In fact, we've had people who've joined our classes within a week of moving to Hyderabad.
Okay.
Two of our students have been now with us for a year and they've been dancing with us. They joined in the week because they came in and they were like, okay, let's try it out. So month on month, we have new people coming in. And then, of course, there is this existing crowd that decides to stay back and train itself more. So that's where we see this. And when it comes to setting the syllabus is constantly evolving. What I used to teach 10 years ago, it's obsolete right now. The nature of dancing has evolved. The kind of focus that people are coming in has evolved. There was a point of time when it was very social dancing focused. Then there was a time when people came in with an idea that they want to compete, and they want to take part in competitions. Currently, we've got a mix of everything. We have people who want to social dance, we've got people who want to compete, we've got a bit of everything. So that existing bunch of people who stay with you, in my head, I consider people who have stayed with me for a year. This is the crowd that's going to want, that has actually been bitten by the bug, like how you and I got, where these
Okay.
guys are not going to leave, and these are the people who we start really pushing after some time. But the
Okay.
initial bit syllabus keeps getting recalibrated based on the demands, based on what people are asking. Like, for example, we
Okay.
used to have a separate salsa and a bachata batch.
Okay.
Currently, we do a salsa bachata combination batch because we have people who
Okay.
ask us for salsa, we have people who ask us for bachata, but people cannot give 4 hours a week. So
Okay.
their bandwidth is limited. So what we've started doing is we're doing a combination batch of salsa and bachata, where we teach a bit of salsa and a bit of bachata, and that's been working really well for us. It
Cool.
also gives people an exposure to the other dance form.
Yeah.
You want to dance
Of
bachata,
course.
but you've not focused on salsa enough. So you want to dance salsa, you've not thought of bachata enough. This gives you a bit of both, so it kind of helps us. And in terms of how we teach, that is something that I keep in mind with every batch. To be honest, batch on batch, I'm looking at what has worked and what hasn't worked, and
Okay.
a lot of the syllabus gets evolved with the kind of questions that people ask. My aim when I teach is, even if I'm teaching a basic right turn of salsa, I want to teach my right turn in such a way that at the end of it, people don't have any questions left, because I have pretty much explained all the aspects of it and they just have to practice it. And you
Okay.
kind of get this from their questions. They ask you, acha, okay, if we are doing this, then how do I step here? Then I keep that in mind, so the next time I'm teaching the right turn, that becomes in
Hmm.
my instructions. Then
Okay.
somebody asks another question, then I take that and I put that also into my instructions. So my whole thing is that we have to have a flow. You cannot go back and forth when you're teaching, because a lot of times this happens where you finish teaching and you're like, yeah, okay, one more thing, you also have to do this. So that is something that at least I personally try to avoid. So
Okay.
the syllabus evolves based on how people are also asking questions, and wherever I keep learning, whatever festivals I do, whatever privates or workshops I take, things like that. Yeah.
Absolutely. For running a school for almost 10 years now. So it's kind of not an easy thing to maintain and run a school. I know the pain behind it. So tell me about that struggles you face in running a school. And do you also do any other work or any other thing other than running a school? Or just tell me about that.
Mm. See, I also have a day job. I'm not a full-time dancer.
Okay. Okay.
I work as a I'm into learning and development. I work in
Okay.
L&D. And the operations and the content design and development is something that I take care of. So Monday to Friday, I'm
Okay.
caught up over there, and Saturday and Sunday here, which makes it very difficult because you're working 7 days a week and you have to handle a lot of things. Uh, when I started the dance school, going back to the beginning, when I said that I wanted to just create these dancers, see, it was a very rosy image. When you actually get down to the working of running a school, it's very different. It's not
Yeah,
just like I like to dance, so I'm over here, you know. And to be
not
honest,
like
this is
that.
something that I learned it a very hard way. I learned it a very hard way. We've had a lot of setbacks. We opened up a studio, we ran the studio for a year, made unbelievable losses, because of which I had to shut
Okay.
down the studio. I had to cut down on my operations. Then I came back again. Then we tried something else, and then it failed again. And then we came back. So it's been a lot of back and forth. But I think a lot of it has to do with. I will own up to the fact that I was younger. When you're younger, you have a vision which is very different. You kind of think that your talent, and that you're very talented, and the talent that I have, the passion that I have, that's enough. But finally you have to also understand that this is also a business that we are running. It is uh,
Absolutely.
it is of course serving our passion. It is taking care of uh, us also, in a way, that we are in a scene that we really like. We are doing something that we really enjoy, but there's also a business aspect of it, where you are investing this much time. So those learning those ropes was very challenging for me, because I wasn't able to see it. I used to sit for the longest time, just be like, yaar, main to itna acha kaam karta hu, what else? I'm doing this, what more? I'm trying to learn, I'm trying to train, I'm trying to do good work. My students are dancing very well. Yet, why is it that not every single person in Hyderabad who wants to come and join my classes? There was a time, we do have, with a lot of pride, I can say that we do have one of the good social dancers in the scene who have come out from my school. And I used to think that that is enough for the longest time. You realize that
Yeah,
it's a whole different game. How the marketing works, how the sales work, how you
yeah.
attract people, what you do, all those things are very different. So running a school has been very draining, and yet an absolutely learning experience. I think I'm still trying to learn. There are still things that we go wrong, and we are still trying to fix. But I think uh, when times around you will keep evolving and changing, you have to keep changing your strategies, and as you keep changing, there will be a hit and there will be a miss. What wisdom is, learning from your mistakes and making sure that you don't repeat the mistake. At least I'm like, okay, you know what, I'll make a new mistake. I won't make the same one.
Same
So
mistake. Yeah.
that's yeah, so that's the whole thing. So yeah, running a dance school has been challenging to understand to have the business acumen, and develop that side of it. uh, Not sit here and be like, yaar mujhe nahi aata. I'm guilty of that. I'm guilty
Okay.
of being like, no, I can't handle marketing and all. I dance very well. I will teach, And you
No
sit in that high
excuses.
horse also of thinking that you're very, very good. You realize eventually that people are also very good, and people out there are working very hard. You're not the only one.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
how do you differentiate yourself? And that's when your journey begins.
I wish you could proceed with your dance school a lot more years and keep up the good work. So when it
Hoping,
comes, yeah.
hoping so.
So when it comes to dancing scene, what's the major difference you see in the dancing scene from back then you have started and now? So the current generation, and so what's the major difference between those time and this time? So tell me about that.
Yeah, this could be a controversial question, but uh, uh, see, there is of course it has evolved. It has evolved so much. It has evolved a lot. I'm not going to say that everything, all the changes that have happened have been for the good, but it isn't like everything is bad either. It isn't like, oh, we were so good and these guys are absolutely crap. Nor is it that, oh my God, these guys are doing such a good job. We didn't know what we were doing. It is how everything has evolved. There is a lot more there are a lot more opportunities. There is a lot more. You don't see, the world is available on a click, right? So when we were growing up, like, let's say I want to learn from an Adolfo. What do? I either have to go to where Adolfo teaches, or I
Yeah.
have to go to a festival where he teaches. But currently they've got a Mambo Empire, they've got an Empire Mambo online studio. So you have access to a lot more learning now, which makes it very interesting, which makes it very exciting, because I can sit at home, I can just use my phone. I don't even need my laptop. On a click, the world is available for me. So I have that. You have that advantage over here. But the other thing that again, I'm not going to say this doesn't apply to everyone. This applies to just nothing I'm going to say would be an absolute, of course. But one of the things that I wish was better was that I think because we used to go to a festival, we valued that opportunity a lot more. Now, when everything is available, it's a little confusing because you've got 200 different options.
Okay.
You've got 500 festivals, 500 artists, 5,000 ways of dealing with it, a zillion festivals going on. You've got so much that your energies tend to get a little scattered with respect to what is it. You're even, like we decided, like, I chose salsa, I stuck to it. People chose bachata, stuck to it. People chose kizomba, stuck to it. And then we decided in salsa also, okay, I was at one point, I'm like, I'm going to be focusing on mambo more. So then I gravitated my entire shift to Mambo. Then I thought about, okay, how do I make this happen? Currently, you have too many options, which is
Yeah.
great and absolutely fantastic, but it could also get a bit confusing, which is natural. It's
Okay.
also got to do with the age. The people who are starting off now are much younger. They're 10 years younger, so it's their time to be a little more exploratory in life than some of us. So yeah.
Yeah.
So there
So
has been that change, but a lot more power to a lot of the new people who are coming up and who are doing some phenomenally fantastic work. I know that I take a lot of inspiration from some of them. I see some people and I'm like, wow, these guys started off 4 years ago and look at them what they're doing and look at me what I'm doing. So it kind of helps me.
okay. So I think the social media had been a greater part in this generation gap. So how do you see that impacts your dancing scene in Hyderabad in particular?
Um, Business wise, it definitely does because the newer generation has grown up to social media while we've had to learn social media. So they're a lot
Okay.
more adept at it, they're a lot more fluent at it. So they're doing a better job at social media than a lot of us do. Let's call it what it is. I don't think my social media game is great. I'm trying, but I still don't think it's great. It's something that I'm in process trying to learn and figure it out.
Mhm.
The newer generation really knows how to use social media. See, there has been an advantage because for us we had to like really go out to a festival and prove ourselves. But now you can upload videos and you can really put your work out there. So there's the outreach is very high. So there has
Yeah.
been that with the invent of social media, there has been that, but social media has definitely created a lot of gap. A lot of us, I think my generation of dancers, we've had to really struggle because we belong to the pre-Instagram generation, pre
Mhm.
pre-shooting videos when you're social dancing generation. I don't think
Yeah.
I have videos of my when I was
Truth.
learning. I mean, I had like I would have like one video in 6 months where I'd be like, "Acha, what am I doing right?" It's
Okay.
strictly for your own educational purposes and all. So with social media, there has been that change where your work is out there, everything is out there, everyone's out there to judge everything. You're putting yourself. I think it's a lot. I think it requires a lot of courage for a lot of these young people to put their work out there, knowing very well that your work is going to be evaluated and judged. It has been a struggle. I can't speak for the rest, but for me, it has personally been a very big hurdle to accept the fact that whether you like it or not, this is how it has evolved, and you have
Okay.
to be a part of it. Because there was a point of time where I didn't. I was like, I don't want to
Okay.
be on Instagram. I'm like, I
Hmm.
don't believe it. But
Okay.
I realized that in this entire thing of not wanting to change with time, I'm left behind. People
Yes,
have moved
absolutely.
ahead. I'm left behind because I refuse to change. I decided to dig my claws further. Okay, nay, what I'm doing is right, you know. So I
Okay.
think it is something that I have struggled with a lot with the generation gap. But kudos to the people who can do a great job, and those of you who can't understand social media, I feel you. It's hard.
For the previous generation. So how do you what steps you take to cope up with it and fill that generation gap? So do you take any steps, or you
Uh,
still? Yeah.
befriending, befriending a lot of the young kids,
Oh,
befriending
okay.
the
Huh.
younger ones. You know, I
Yeah.
always take their tips because these guys are very active on social
Yeah.
media. They kind of know. They are the see to a large extent. They are also my target audience,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
That's the crowd that's coming into my classes more.
Yes,
uh,
definitely.
so how I keep asking them, I keep telling them, how is this video, how is this, after you download those video apps and you're trying.
Yeah,
I have been
editing,
doing
uploading.
a miserable job, Anup, at
Okay. Yeah.
shooting dynamic videos. I am
Okay.
trying, because you see these salsa social dancing videos where these cameras are zooming in and out, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
keep trying it. Some of my videos are nauseating. I have moved the camera so much that I can't see it. If
Okay.
but yeah, it's I take help from the younger kids around, who are the younger students who are around, people who are in their early 20s and stuff. They know this. They got this hack a lot more. They tell me, they were the ones who told me to use hashtags, and then they told me, okay, now
Hmm.
hashtags are not giving in so much traction. I'm like, as whatever they say, I'm half the times I'm
We'll
listening.
do
So
it.
these guys
Yeah.
are definitely, did a small social media marketing course from Udemy, trying to read
Yeah.
blogs
Yeah.
around it,
Hmm.
trying to see when I have videos, as to how, because it is two different things, right? Because how I manage my personal social media as an artist versus how I manage my dance schools as a business, they're two different approaches. I cannot have the same approach for both. So
Yes, definitely.
trying to study and learn about it, and whatever I learn and I understand, I try to apply. Then I take feedback from some of my trusted. I have some really nice students. I have some absolutely wonderful people who really believe in the work that we do, who really believe in Salsa Cafe as a school, who don't even say your school, who's always like hamara school, hamare log, hamare naye students. They always talk like
Okay.
that. So for me, that really matters. So these are the people that I really place a lot of faith in. And I check with them as to what they feel, what's landing, what's not landing. And I
Okay.
keep tweaking accordingly. Yeah. Which
So
is
keep up
hard.
the good
It's
work.
exhausting. Social media
Yeah.
is exhausting.
You have to cope
I'm
up.
sure it's for you also.
Yeah.
You're trying to do you're doing a podcast and all. It couldn't be easy.
Yeah, of course. So,
Yeah.
what are your goals for the near future? What is there anything special in mind to be proceeded with? Just tell me about your future goals.
Um, we've started focusing more on shows. As a
Okay.
dance school, we've never been performance oriented. We've been very social dancing focused school, but we are slowly shifting our focus. While social dancing, of course, takes dominance, but we are going to try to create a lot more shows, a lot more good
Okay.
shows. Our Vamos was the first time we decided to do a Mambo partner work show, and we were the only ones who were doing a Mambo partner work show at Vamos this time. People were doing
Okay.
Mambo, but they were more footwork based. We tried to do something. Of course, there's a risk involved. There is a hit and there is a miss. Our show went off pretty well. I'm quite proud of my students and my team for how they pulled it off. Uh, could they be better? Yes, but then there's always that scope. You
Okay.
cannot ever sit and be like, I was the best. There's always that scope to get a lot better. So yeah, the focus as a dance school is to now also have good shows, because again, this is going back, tying it back to the down to the social media conversation that we're happening. Because with social media, people have gotten a lot more visual. When I see the scene around me, I see the bachata dancers and kizomba dancers who are a lot more on stage than salsa dancers. They're doing a
Okay.
lot more shows. I see them when I go to a festival, I see a show night, I see 70% of the shows being bachata,
Okay.
or kizomba.
Hmm.
Salsa is far and few. So I think what's happened is because of this whole thing, when I'm a new student who is showing up into the scene, I can see when I see a bachata show and I see a kizomba show, and I'm like, yes, now I can visualize how I will look doing this. The same thing is not really happening for salsa because there aren't a lot of performances at festivals. I was very happy at Vamos and even the last year's La Afro and the other festivals that I attended, where I saw a lot of Mambo shows coming up.
Salsa.
I saw
Okay.
a lot. I see a lot more salsa on
Salsa
tour.
on.
I see a lot more Mambo happening. So the idea is to actually create these visual goals for the newer generation who's walking in, so they can see. That's one of the things that we are focusing on. Definitely building a very very solid scene, building a very solid team of instructors, quality education. See, I mean, I did speak about the marketing, I did speak about all those
Yeah.
things. Not that I spoke about it in a very nice way, but yeah, I did whatever I could. Uh,
Yeah.
Finally, your social media and everything can get the student into the door. Once the student walks into my studio, that's when my real work starts. So that focus on quality is something that as a dance school we take great pride in, and it is something that we aspire to continue. Definitely I have building a team in my mind. I want to build a lot more. I want to open a lot more centers. I want to do a lot more work around spreading this love for salsa that I have, and we have a couple of potentials who we've identified. So the focus is going to be on just I know one thing that life really taught me. I'm going to slightly digress, maybe, is that uh, just keep doing the work. There's nothing else in the middle that matters. Finally, what matters is the work that you do. It doesn't matter if I have spent 1 year to make sure that my show looks good, or I have made my show look great in 1 week of it, or I have worked for a year and my show hasn't come out well. Finally, the work that you do matters. What happens in the middle, nobody cares about it. So
Okay.
the idea is to just
Doing
keep
the thing.
doing that work. Keep your eyes
Yeah.
set on what you want to do and keep at it. We've sustained for 10 years, not because we've been super successful for 10 years. We've had our rough patches. We've had like very low patches. Right now, we are doing well. Touch wood. I'm happy about that. But it can change anytime. So, but the key is you have to show up. You have to show up and be there, whether your batch has 100 students or 10 students or 5 students or 3 students. So the vision is just that keep doing good work, keep trying to see our corporate life. I mean, I'm also a part of it. So it is very
Yeah.
stressed out. And I know that this is one space which a lot of students have come back to me telling me that this is like a really happy space for them. They can they can like keep all their stress and all their tension aside, and they can just come in there and have a good
Enjoy.
time. So
Yeah.
while focus on quality education is there, I think we or also I also take a lot of pride in how much of a fun space we are as a school. You will come into our school, you will never see a very serious instruction. You'll always see a lot of masti. There's a lot of dancing. There's a lot of laughter. There's a lot of fun elements. So, hoping to keep that on and hoping to make sure that we are constantly able to cherish that and
Great, great,
build
great.
better memories.
That's so nice and great. So thank you for having a conversation today. It's been great inspiration.
Thank you.
Please share your view, or just tell me how dancers or the scene in Hyderabad wants from you, or you can just tell whatever in your mind to your audience, your students, and your crowd, your words to them. Yeah.
Yes. Firstly, I think Hyderabad, you've been really, and not just Hyderabad, a lot of dancers in India, and especially Hyderabad, because I've been working. You have been very kind to me. You've been very nice to me. You've really accepted me. I did not grow up in Hyderabad, and still you've been so welcoming and nice. So thank you so much for that. It really matters a lot that you've been so welcoming, and I have absolutely loved being here. It all the stress, all the tension, all the awesome work that we've done wouldn't trade it for anything. Just would like to tell the new guys that keep believing in yourself and keep placing your faith in us, because we work really hard as a dance school to make sure that we're not trying to disappoint you, and we hope to really keep that up. But looking forward, yes, see you guys all at my classes. Please do come. We run classes, Salsa Cafe.
Yeah, please do attend the classes and the training sessions with Shashank. And yeah, I hope
Thank you so
this is
much.
your first podcast. So tell me about the experience in sharing your knowledge and journey. Just tell me about your podcast episode.
I'm a very filmy person. But
Okay.
in my head, no, I have done a lot of these interviews, better. Like I just sit, like in front, like I keep thinking, there's gonna be like, I see anything like any channel on YouTube or anything else, and I'm like, one day I'm gonna sit over there, and I keep picturing that these questions are being thrown at me, and I keep answering. But
Finally,
yes,
it
Anup
happened.
would really definitely like to, yes, and would really like to thank you, Anup, for starting this initiative. I think it's great that dancers are getting a platform to share their thoughts. I think it's fantastic that the new and upcoming dancers could also hear what people who've been around in the scene, and not just me, there have been people who've been around in the scene for longer than me. And I
Yeah.
know that my conversations with them have inspired me a lot and have given me a sense of direction. I don't know how much of this episode that we've had is going to be of help for people, but I really hope that even if it makes a 1% difference to someone, I think your job over here is definitely
Yeah.
done. I think it's
Yes.
fantastic that you've started this initiative, giving all the dancers a platform. So congratulations, and wishing you lots of luck, and hope to see a
Thank you.
lot more work like this. I look forward to
Thank you.
hearing more of these podcasts and sessions from you.
Sure, sure. I'll put my hard work and do all those things to reach all the dancers, and in it should help even a single dancer. Then the motive is completely satisfied for me. So yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much, and thank you, and I wish you all good luck for your future endeavors. And thanks for coming.
Thank you, Anup. Thank you.
Thank you. And that wraps up another fantastic episode of Nadanam. I hope you enjoy diving into the world of dance with us today. Before we go, remember you can stay connected with us on social media for more updates, behind the scenes content, and exciting announcements. Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Nadanam a Dance Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider leaving us a review on any of your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback helps us improve and reach more listeners who share a love for dance. Thank you once again for tuning in. Until next time, keep dancing, keep dreaming, and keep spreading the joy of moment wherever you go. This is Anup Karthik signing off. Take care and dance on.